Okay, so what we're gonna do today is that we're going to see what we should have seen last class. So just let me complete that. And the last class was intended to be like an introduction for the functions, how like what they are, how can I use them, what's the best case scenario to have them, or why should I care that they exist. So we're going to talk about that. Before I get started with the class and that I start talking away like too much, I would like you guys to let me know, especially the ones who has not been in the Function February kind of series. Do you have specific questions or specific pains when it comes to functions that we could like try to solve or alleviate right now in the class?
No, but I'd like to know, is the first class online?
Well, the thing is, the first class didn't became a Q&A, but in Spanish because it was only Latinos in the room.
Okay,
So yeah, that one I have the recording, but I'm not planning on upload because
okay.
yeah, it doesn't make sense to have it on the date. What we're gonna do is to take that class that was meant to be on that day today,
Mhm.
so the English speakers do have that access. And yeah, this one is going to be recorded, and you will have access to that one as soon as I edit everything that I mess up. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Okay, amazing. So that one is solved. Done. Steve, do you have questions or something that you say, oh, I wish I could understand this better about functions?
Just here to listen in and try to learn a little bit.
Okay, perfect. So I guess the questions will come along the way. I'm sure of it. I guess you should be able to see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. So, okay, we're going to talk today about what a function is. What it's important for you to know is that if you have been in the bot game for a long time or for any time, I'm pretty sure that you have used keywords in the past. So if you have done this before, you will realize that, for example, we can have like a specific set of characters that will trigger a specific set of responses from the bot. In this case, if I check it out, I just for quantity, it's like I can say here, for example, price, and I can say, okay, it's going to send a flow and a specific one, maybe the booking, maybe whatever I have, no, maybe the one where I have the prices. So the story I usually say or usually tell whenever we're talking about keywords is that pre-AI, I notice that sometimes people will trigger my flow for thank you, where the bot will say, "Oh, you're welcome," or "It was so nice to be in a chat with you." But what the user actually said was, "Thank you for nothing," because the bot was not smart enough to understand what was going on. So the user was frustrated and saying, "Thank you for nothing," and the bot was triggering the flow that said, "Oh, that was amazing to chat with you. I'm glad that I was helpful for you." So it was super sarcastic and super annoying, and it was not smart at all. So why do I bring up that story today? Because right now what we have here in settings, let's start a new one. New one, web chat, here, function. Okay, so if I go to settings, in a new account, a brand new account, or any account, and if I go to integrations, I will find prompt engineering. If you are one of our white label members, you will notice that the names might be different, but the logic is still the same. So let's go to the one with this icon here, that it will be either ChatGPT or prompt engineering. And we're going to look for functions that in the past had been called ChatGPT triggers. So you can find it in other videos like the other name, or maybe in our white label options, you might find it with that name. So let's go to manage. And in here, you're going to find two that are already come to with your account. Okay, let me, okay, two that already come with your account. So what happens here is that this one is just like the system kind of trigger or function that will allow the user to contact a human. Okay, and instead of having the words human, talk to someone, person, somebody to help, like something that like that in the keywords, that will be limited by like the grammar, the orthography, like the set of characters, the word that you chose, and the language that you chose. Now you have an intention. When the person expresses the intention of talking to someone, like a human agent or a person, then the bot is going to do this. So let me show you a little bit more. In here, this one you won't be able to edit because this is like the default one that we give, and you can simply unselect it, and I'm going to show you where. You can unselect it if it's way too sensible or if it's something that you're not looking to have. In here you have something that looks a little bit more advanced, and I'm going to click on edit it so you can see. So we have name. This name of the function, it's very important for me to tell you that it is relevant. Okay, the name is relevant because between the name and what does this trigger do are going to help the AI find the best match for an intention. So if here you have a code name like on Star Wars Order 66, then maybe you understand what it is, and maybe the troopers understand what it is, but the chatbot won't. So you need to be super clear about what does the user want in here and what does the user is going to achieve here. Okay, I know that Ryan also does some functions where it commands the bot to send, like, allows the user to send their data to the CRM and that kind of commands. I usually try for the guys to get started with something that it starts with this. Allows the user to, and you have to think about what does the user want to do. Okay, allows the user to learn more about our pricing, allows the user to book an appointment with a support agent, with a billing agent, with, you can be specific in there. Okay, so far you have any questions about what this section is for? Yeah, Billy, Danny.
Yeah, quick question. So I've been adding some functions to the custom bot for a conference happening in May, the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. And I thought about instead of stuffing my prompt, the main prompt inside of the ChatGPT integration space, I thought about just creating a function, right, that is titled something like get VIP pass, for instance. And then inside of this section where it says, what does this trigger do? Following the verbatim that you and Ryan recommend, right, allows the user to, right, and I typed something, allow the user to receive an invitation to buy the VIP pass, and then maybe a flow that is followed by an e-commerce element where the person can purchase a ticket right inside of the bot. Am I in the right track?
Yes, you're in the right track. What I will do there is maybe the user is not expressing exactly as you said. So you want to add a little bit of variations here, like to get an invitation or like pay their VIP pass or get a VIP pass. Like you can say like get an invitation, pay, get, like you can give it a couple of options for you to
Yeah.
understand more open. But that only if you notice that your function is not working properly when the user says another set of words.
Okay. So, yeah, so I think I even added you would only present this option to a person who has left first name, last name, phone number, and email address. So it's I have added that condition via a command, right, via a prompt. Am I still in the right track?
Yes, you're still on the right track. And let's keep on that one
Thank
and continue here. So before I move to the next part, because it's relevant to Danny's question, I want to show you something. In here, we do not use special characters. We can use like the alphabet, the numbers, and the underscore. The spaces are accepted. I recommend to use the underscore better. But if you're a Latino and you use something like this, you won't make it work. Why? Because this function needs to work with OpenAI's API, and the external request will not accept any kind of special characters in here. So if you're a Latino or you are a Nordic user, you might need to consider how to spell this in a way that you do not use an special character. That comes also for Spain with the, well, Spain and France, I think they have the sesenil, the C with the tail. That one won't be accepted here. So be careful with that one. The other thing that becomes relevant and has to be with special characters, let me open this in another tab so I don't get lost. And in here in documentation, if I say, tell me functions, especially for my Nordic users, because we found something. Okay, yeah, here. This is a second tip that comes from Simon. Simon was using his language. I think I don't remember what part of Europe he was, but his language was having an issue that whenever he saved the data inside the custom fields, the AI will save them with like a code. How can I explain this better? Example, if I set a space, if I wanted to become a URL, it will be like the 20 and the percentage. So what was happening is that the AI was transforming those special characters into this kind of code. Okay. So what he had to do is to tell the bot in the section, what does it trigger to handle the data with and the specific encoding that he needed. Okay, this is a tip for those who use special characters and that by some reason find out that the AI is not saving correctly the information. This is a tip that you need. So, talking about saving information, I go back. In here, let's say that for getting the weather in this case, I must get city and I don't know, what else can we get? Well, just the city. So in this case, I'm going to tell it, make sure to confirm the current city or confirm the actual city the user wants the info from. Okay, so what I do usually is, one, this is a must. I have to add here what I'm going to collect and here where am I going to save it. I don't think I have city, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save here. Oh, user reply. Oh my god, we have come on, user reply, we have it. Yeah, here. So we're going to have here city. Okay, so what I have is what I want to get, where I'm going to save it. I tell the AI that it must confirm or it should make sure of confirming. Why am I saying confirm? Because maybe the user already said, I want the weather for Los Angeles. And if I tell the AI, you must ask, the AI will ask again. But if I ask it to confirm and it doesn't know, it will ask for the day, for the place. And if it does know, it can be more like, just to confirm, this is the right city you want. So the language will change. So that's something that I do. And I do add something like actual, real, or correct, some kind of those kind of conditions. So it actually asks for a city and do not make it up. Why? Because sometimes we tell the AI, you must have the city. And when we tell you must have the city, the AI might say, okay, you need a city. I will give you a city. But you didn't tell me which one you wanted. So I will just choose one randomly. Okay, that's what happened. And you will see that sometimes you will get emails that it's like jojo@example.com because you told the AI that it must have an email, but you didn't say whose email should be. Okay, so that's something important. And why don't we build the function that you need, Danny? Get VIP pass. I will do it something like this. It's called pass or entry. How do you call it, Danny?
It's like an all access pass. So yeah, to make it short, I just use VIP pass.
All because they might, I know that the name is VIP Pass, but the user might be asking for an all access package.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, good
So
idea.
I try to cover like all of it at my
Sure.
at the best I can. So in
Okay.
this case, it will be something like allows the user to get a VIP to get invited to our VIP section during the event. This grants all access and VIP treatment. If and maybe something like allows the user to pay for their VIP pass only if they have provide real name and email. Yay, I fit it. Perfect. So what I'm going
Perfect.
to
Yeah,
do,
I did notice. I found out the hard way that there's only space for 200 characters. So
yeah,
I was being too specific. Then I had to, cut it short. But you did a better job than I did.
no, don't worry. What I'm going to show you next is the thing that I did on the video Fix My Bot. There we had 7 questions, so it was a little bit more complicated, and I will
Okay.
show you that one because it's
All right.
relevant for this. So in this case, what I want is user's name, okay? And I'm going to I usually save in full name because I don't know if they're going to give me just the name or name and last name or just last name, so this is easier. In this case, I want user's real email. Okay, there are some tiny details that I do just to make sure that it doesn't mess up. And so far, what I just want to do is in here, I'm gonna say thank you for now because I have not created just yet the flow that I want to trigger. So because I don't have it just yet, I'm gonna create it like this so I can test.
Okay.
So continue. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to the flows. Oh no, wait. I'm almost made a newbie's mistake. Integrations, prompt engineer, edit. In here I don't have any prompts, so that's good. I'm going to take away the human and I need to make visible this one. It doesn't matter if you are here in the integrations or in the flows, you must make it blue or visible so the AI can find it. Otherwise, it's hidden and the AI don't have access to read that exists.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice. Good tip. Awesome. Thanks.
That's the one. And yes, I usually forget and I only remember once I like mess up.
Fixing it right now.
So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to preview the welcome message on web chat. And it has to say something like hello. Perfect. And I want VIP access. And let's see how good it handles. Sure, to get VIP access, please provide me with your real name and email address. Okay, so let's work with this. Wendy, and email is wendy@mail.com. And I did that space on purpose, just
Yeah. Yeah.
for you to take a look.
So it self-corrects that mishap. Yeah.
Perfect. You see that I said only thank you, but it does use the AI to like do a complete response.
Okay.
Make sure
Awesome. Yes.
if
That
you do
helps.
something there, it's a template. It's just a template.
Gotcha. No, that helps so much.
Okay, perfect. So that's one. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to the inbox and check the only user that exists, that now it's called Wendy. And let me move you around, guys. And yes, the email was correct. So that's a good one. What I'm going to do next is
Yeah, I
in
fixed it.
here, I'm going to send the flow clear because I want to delete myself.
Okay.
Okay. And what I'm going to do again is I'm going to send it again, but now I want to see if it's being restrictive enough so it asks for both details. Like, what if I only give it one?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So let's preview. Because if I was doing it like the old way, what would happen is I will be using a get users data or user input. And in that case, whatever they say, that's the response. And I don't care if they say something like, I'm going to show you, I want VIP access. I don't wanna give it to you. If it was a rule-based bot, it will say, "Thank you. I don't. Oh, nice to meet you. I don't want to give it to you. What's your email address?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we would do. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
see
yeah.
what happens. I understand if you change your mind and decide to provide your real name and email address, I can help you. So it's a little bit sassy. This one.
No, it's perfect. Like so, for this type of audience, I don't want it to be rigid, right? This is
Okay, so yeah, I changed my mind and now I can give it. So, my name is Wendy. So let's see what happens here.
rebellious Wendy.
Yeah, and perfect. Now it's asking me for the real email address. It's 123 at mail.com. Just to change it, and I did the
Yeah, yeah.
variation of the. Perfect.
Okay, sweet. No, that helps a lot. So I'm gonna do a quick tweak right now. So thanks, man.
Okay, perfect. So now let's check in here. I have to move you guys, and yeah, it fixed it. Okay, so that's the part one. If I go back to my functions, there it is. Do I have it there? No. Let's go back to functions because we did like super basic and we need to keep digging. Okay, functions.
Wendy, quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I- Is there a way to verify that, or, in other words, can you have them give you the email address twice and then do a quick comparison and then make sure that they gave you the same thing twice?
I wouldn't do that because it will be kind of just copy paste whatever I gave you pig on the top. But what we could do, and let's build that one. Okay, let me show you here and we want to build that part. Okay, the flow, what flow is triggered? We are going to select one flow that we want to send out whenever these conditions happens. The person wanted to get all access and I have the name and the email, okay? When all of this happens, then I'm going to trigger one flow. What flow? Let's create it. And because Steve is worried that they are going to give them the fake email, let's check. Fake email.
You can come in.
Hello, man. I'm gonna have to mute you a little bit. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send an email. This is going to be my starting point. And this could be yeah, we can have it like this. Or you know what? No, let's be more let's be more how can I call it strict? So I'm going to take this one and what I'm going to do is take away this one and I say this is your access pin. And in here, I can add a number or I could have in actions in here, I have in tools, I have to generate random numbers in text. So I can say minimum 4, maximum 4, and it's numeric and I'm going to save, I don't have one, so let me create one. Yes, I'm lazy and I'm going to do it here. Oh, come on. Access pin, and it's going to be a number. And I'm going to say in access pin. So this is my step one. I'm going to generate the pin. I'm going to send an email to the email the person told me, and I'm going to say, here is your pin to unlock the VIP pass. And in here, instead of having the 1, 2, 3, I'm going to have the access. And because sometimes people need like more specific instructions, please provide this access pin to the chatbot to unlock the VIP section. How about that, Steve?
Love it. It's exactly what I was looking for.
So in here, what I'm going to do is the second we send it to them, we're going to tell them, please check your email and to find a verification pin to access the VIP. Oh, I can what I did. VIP. I was like all completely backwards. Access VIP. Pass. Okay. In here, it can even be more like, okay, let's get users data. And let's do it a little bit rule-based in here. And let me do this. And in here, it's going to be number. And let's create a new one. And provide. Continue and print provide. Cancel. And the cancel, I'm gonna send them to the welcome just because I don't have anything else. But whenever they come here, what I'm gonna do is a condition, but first I need some math because I want to check it out. Access pin is I don't need math anymore. If access pin is the pin that they gave, then access the VIP. If not, tell them to check the email or to try to provide a new email. So in here, it will look like.
Wow, I love this. So this is in essence doing two things, right? Is verifying the individual's email address, right? So we can create some clean lists, but it also is creating the, the access, pin based, email that is, you're kind of making a person feel, either, part of something like a loyalty program, a VIP event. So I love how you're putting this together and how you're showing us some of these features that I didn't even know existed, like creating a pin, with 4 digits. This is golden. Thank you.
Oh, this is amazing. I love that you love it. And this can also work with SMS, for example. Let's imagine that you're like that you're requested the phone and you want to send the pin. You can do it this way. So looks like that pin is not valid. Please click on try again or provide your real or provide a new email address, because we don't want them to feel like we're saying that they are liars. So try again.
But they are, Wendy. Most of the time they are. That's exactly why I want this done.
Yeah, the thing
No
is,
kidding. Yeah. And in
yeah,
essence,
I know, but I don't want to tell them. That's
yeah, you don't want to, but no. So as someone who worked in the promoting nightclubs in New York City, we always try to cheat the system, right? Or find ways how, our guests don't cheat the system. So
we
this
are
could
Latinos. We always follow the rules.
we look for the angles. So this helps, kind of make our programs tamper proof, right? So I like this next level because we had some other things that we used to make our systems, tamper proof, but this is an extra level that I didn't know existed. That is right in native with CBB. Love it. Thank you.
So these will be kind of the settings that I will do. But let's imagine in here that thing about Ryan's last name is that it has double letters, and I always mess up with those. So yeah, writing my email had been a challenge all this time.
Wendy, I think you should data was saved, not continue when you check the pin. It would be
Yes, you can do both.
okay.
Okay, what's the difference? In here, even if they don't save it, I can check. Yeah, let's amuse. Okay, yes, you can do
Okay.
either because you're waiting for the user. If the question was like in here, was a quick reply, and I do this, then the quick reply will disappear. But because this is get user data, it will wait for the response.
Aha, okay.
Yeah, that's the main difference between the quick reply and user data.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wendy, I have a question.
Yeah.
So the try again goes back to the send message one, but what if they put in like a fake email address and actually want to put in their real email address this time?
Okay, that's because in this case, let's be more specific. Try pin again.
Oh.
So my intention is that if they gave me a fake email, they should be able to talk with the AI again on the default response to trigger again everything.
Okay.
That's the goal. Like leave the default response to take most of the load of the work and not be so tiny pieces, like kind of checking everything. So only for this.
Okay, so then it's basically after the send message two, if they don't click that try pin again button, it just goes back to the default reply.
Exactly, yeah.
Got
Whenever,
it.
for example, here where it's a dead end, it will go to the default response.
Got it. Okay, great. Thanks.
In here, because it says waiting for user reply, then we're waiting. But whenever it's like dead end, that means that everything that comes after will go to the default response if it doesn't have any specific place to go.
Okay. Thanks.
One question, Wendy. Hi. I want to understand better in the function where you in the space where you tell I have this in Spanish is que hace ese disparador where you write allow the user to. I see that this time you put more instruction, and I don't know if until now I was thinking that this part is just in order to remember what does the function. But now I see that it's very important to describe very well what the function do. I don't know if it's clear for you.
No, yeah, don't worry. Yes, I try for all the new users to be as like low word usage possible. Why?
Okay.
Because the more words you give, the more the more words you give it, the more places where you can confuse it. So
Okay.
because of that, I try for the users to start building the ability, like to start like getting some prompting muscle, and once they get it, they can like be more specific or be more restrictive. In this case, we wanted to give this is like the basic one, okay? And in here I add a variation because maybe they don't want an invitation, they want to pay or they want to get access. And because I don't want the AI to think, oh, this is only for invitations, not to pay or not to grant, then I want to give it a variation. And I gave it a second variation. But again, in this second variation, I told that only if they have provided the information that I need. And I told them what information do I need both times. That's what I do when I need to be like extra super specific. Okay, sometimes when we are getting started, we are like a little bit more broad, but whenever we need to go more specific, we need to be more like this. Okay.
Okay, then this is a very important part of the function. It's not just the data to collect, but also the instruction that you
No.
put.
This is the heart and the brain of this.
Okay,
You need
okay,
a clear name and a clear set of description. Otherwise, the AI won't understand. And again, I go back to the order 66 example because once I got one user who was having a really hard time to trigger the functions, and the issue was that in here he had like process number set of like number 67 or no, or number 19, because he had a database on his work where he had all the processes that he needed to perform coded. And that's amazing, because that means that he's super organized, but that means that the AI needs some training to understand what does the process 19 means. Like he was talking, like, I don't know if you just saw Monsters Inc. at some time, but the 2319, like it was the code of the incident. So everybody that have seen the movie understands what code and what happened, but everybody outside that circle won't. And you need the AI that it's outside your circle at this time to understand it easily.
You know, in other words, the AI was not processing that language into what it, into human.
Yeah, it was like, well, I have no idea what this means, so I cannot tell if the user wants that. I know that the user wants to ask for a refund, but I don't know that the process 19 is the refund. It is easier to tell like get a refund or request a refund. It is way easier to do it that way and more clear. Like if I'm talking to a teenager that I just hired to do this, that's how I have to spell it out. Does that make sense?
Sure. Thank you so much. Perfect.
So what I'm going to do here is fake email handle, and I'm going to delete this one right now. And what I'm going to do is like continue, and because I already told the AI that I want a VIP and has my information, it shouldn't be asking me unless it wants to confirm or something. I want to get the VIP. Yes. Okay, it's asking me again because yeah, I told him to make sure. Perfect. Wendy@mail.com. Okay, now it triggered the flow. But I gave it a fake email, so I will never get it. So I can give cancel. I need to give you another email for my pass. And now I'm gonna give you Wendy at chatbots.com. Yes, I wrote it right. Okay, so let me stop showing because maybe I got an email that I shouldn't be showing and I don't know. And let me get it. You can see my screen. If I go to the flows, you will notice that I have not set up my email channel. You see, I don't have the credentials because I have not set up my email channel. So I wonder if I have already one set up so I don't have to like show you all the process today. But in any case, that's how it should be working. And what I can do is, let me go to in the inbox. Let's see it a little bit. So I don't have to do all the process for the email and just and I got the access, yay! So let's try again. I want access to VIP because I want to give the same code. I will give it the same. Why it didn't work with the same code? Because if I go here and I ask it to show me what had happened, is that it was a new code. Does that make sense? Is this helpful? Okay, guys. Questions about functions, because right now we were just like checking out what a function is, how does it work, and maybe we could try like some variations of the text, like how can I ask for the VIP, or I want all access, or how can I get all access, or that kind of stuff. Okay, it's already asking me because I already have all the information in there. Yeah, questions?
Just a question, Wendy. You can put in the space where we talk about now that allow the user to, you can write it in Spanish, or just you have to write it in English because the system work better if the language is English.
Okay. I actually have a little post about this, and you can write everything in the language that you like the most. And I recommend for you to use the one where you can express your ideas better. Okay? Why? Because in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion and what I have seen working with prompts and bots and AI since 2021. Oh, the AI 2021 and the bots 2018, I think, something like that. Okay, anything. What I have noticed being in both languages is that the only thing that it cares about really is clarity. If you can be clear with what you're saying, like you can transmit the idea, then it will do it. I have been prompting this with misspells, with my dyslexic errors, and in Spanglish, and it works. So it understands. Okay, yes, it will be so much better if I didn't have all those misspells or those error or grammar errors or being in Spanglish, but it works. So it means that it can work in Spanish pretty well. And if I can do it, then you can too. Okay? The other thing that I need to tell you is that there are some words that are called cognates. Okay? For example, what is a cognate? The word animal. The word animal in Spanish and in English, it is written the same and it means the same. But, for instance, well, in here is not the one, but the word actual. Okay, I have way too many characters. Actual does not mean the same in English and in Spanish, even when it's written exactly the same. That is a false cognate. Okay? That means that you must be aware that if the AI is not responding to you, you need to look for a word that it works like this. Because actual in English means like facts, like it is the real. But in Spanish, it means right now, the current. Okay, that's different. And the AI will use its own native language, that is English, to translate this. And it will use the English meaning of this word. Does that make sense to you, Robert?
Perfectly. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I notice how it acts very literal, right? At least in the English language. I mean, in both, actually, because I've tried in both. It's very literal, right? So.
Yeah, and it has more to be with the meaning of the words. For example, the one word that I have noticed that makes a big change is the word familiar. Because in Spanish, I wouldn't use tono de voz familiar. I will use amigable or friendly.
Sí.
But in English, friendly and familiar are completely different when it comes to tone of voice. And the one I want is actually familiar. So if I use in Spanish the words that I wouldn't use, like usa un tono de voz familiar, use a familiar tone of voice, it will work as I want to. So yeah, it has to be with these kind of words, and it has to be with you understanding that you're talking to an Anglo. You are speaking in Spanish to a person who speaks Spanish as a second language. So you have to be clear, you have to be transparent, and you have to be aware of those words that could be confusing for this not native Spanish speaker. Does that make sense?
Yeah, good pointer. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
The second example, perfect, because you are talking with a people that speak Spanish as a second language. For me, it's perfect now to understand completely what I have to do.
Yeah. And it applies to any language. In French, in German, in Russian, in Chinese, in Portuguese, in whatever language you're working on, it applies the same. It will be words that looks the same or looks so alike, but does not mean the same or do mean the same. You have to be aware of those, and it's not that it's just your responsibility to know them all. It's your responsibility to be aware that they exist. So whenever you're reading your prompt, you know, oh, maybe one of these words is not what I need. So I can go either to a translator or I can go to ChatGPT and ask for the best way to word these actions.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. So now questions that are related, like not so much about prompting, but about the functions. Do you have
I
questions? Yeah.
I have a questions about the functions. Can we add a tag with the function?
You will need to do it through a flow.
A flow? Okay.
Yeah, in the flow you can set the action to tag them. Let me go in. I don't want to lose these ones. Yeah, and that's how I get 100 tags. Okay, in here, what I will have to do is in here add actions and add a tag, and that's how you will do it, because in my function edit, I have the instruction to trigger this flow, which means that everything in here is going to happen according to my rules. Does this help, Edgar?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, DJ MVP, Steve, are you still here? Who was also here? Don, Daniel,
Yes.
Khalid. Yeah. Come on, guys. Questions? And any questions?
So I was running into some trouble making an assessment. So it was a 15 question assessment, and I was using a function to collect the user response to each question. But then it got to the point where, okay, the user agreed to take the assessment, then it triggered a flow with a prompt for like all the assessment questions to be asked. And then the function was in that. And but what ended up happening is it would just skip all of the questions and just fill in the custom fields, the 15 custom fields with like a not provided or like a just random stuff. And then it would trigger the flow that the function was supposed to trigger after the user answered all the questions. It kind of just bypassed it. So I was struggling to figure that out.
Okay. So I will show you, I think this one you have already seen, but I will show you because maybe others in here have not. But in this bot, that is the one that I use for the class for Fix My Bot, in the prompt that is in here, we had not 15, but we have 7 questions. Maybe your issue is also with the wording on the top, because for example, in mine, I have that it has to do all of the following questions in this specific order, and it cannot like skip, it cannot alter the order. So maybe some wording on the top is affecting you in here. So what I did in here is that I have actually that word because that was working for me. I have the questions, and what I did on the other side, let me open a new one because that's how I get my 100. Okay, so what I did for the questions is integrations, prompt engineering, and functions. Book an appointment. Edit. So I had part of the question in here, and I save in a custom field that do match. So your issue right now is that they are not finishing, or they are changing to another place, and it is actually anyways performing the action. Is that right?
Pardon?
That your issue is that they respond like 1, 2, 3, they change to something else, and when they want to come back, they skip all of this, or the AI fills the blanks?
Yeah, it was that, and also it was like it didn't even ask the questions. It just like triggered the flow.
Okay, in your case, the issue is that in here, you need to tell it something more specific.
Okay. Make sure you.
So,
Okay.
okay, for example, I in here in this case, allows the user to book an appointment. Why? Because in my prompt, what I did is you're going to pre-qualify, and if they succeed, like they are pre-qualified, then you are going to invite them to book an appointment. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a prompt. And because I wanted to book an appointment, I'm only saving those that actually are qualified. That's the system that I built in here. So they are going to, the action they want to perform is to book an appointment. They are accepting to book an appointment after it has answered all of the pre-qualifying questions, and I call it pre-qualifying questions in the prompt as well.
Okay.
Also, make sure to have all 7 answers.
Yeah.
The issue in here is that you might need to add to have all 7 real answers.
Okay.
And then I will be even more from the user.
Mhm.
If you miss one, please ask the user again.
Okay.
Okay, you need to treat it as if it was, and I actually, yesterday, I think I posted something, Akira, in the Spectrum. That's how I kind of try to see these kind of instructions. Because as someone in the Spectrum won't read the room. Okay, it won't get the context about everything that is happening around or what had happened before. It is reading only whatever you are getting in front of them, and they will do an amazing job doing what you said and not what you meant. Does that make sense, Bennett?
I didn't really catch that last part.
Okay, for example, if I tell you, oh, don't let them pass if they don't give you the phone number, you will understand that if you already have the phone number, you don't need to ask it.
Uh-huh.
But if they don't, then you have to ask. The AI, if you tell it that don't let them go, don't let them pass unless they give you the phone number, even if you have the phone number, it will ask it again.
Ah, okay, I get that. Yeah.
Okay, that's the difference. Like we're trying to treat this, and I said that one on, I think, on the last class in Spanish. We're trying to treat OpenAI as if it was Arturito or R2 from Star Wars, when it's in fact more a C-3PO. Okay,
Hmm.
it's not that creative, it's not that good to improvise, it's not that good to perform actions that we have not told it to do.
Okay.
C-3PO is not, Arturito is. So this C-3PO one day will become an Arturito, but not yet. We are not there. So we need to be very specific in here.
Okay, so then something if I want to collect user email and phone before booking a consultation, then I could say just so that like if they want to book a consultation but have already given phone number, I've experienced it will ask again. So then I could say something like,
Make sure
oh,
you have it, or remember
okay,
if the user have told you, and if so, and if not, then ask it again.
okay. So you could say something like only or
Only if you don't know it, or only if you can't remember the name or the email.
okay.
I
Got
use
it.
the word remember because it's more conversational, but yes. Because if I tell it, if you don't have it saved where?
Hmm.
Okay? But if I
Okay.
say remember, it had worked better for me.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Let me check the chat. Okay, someone had to go. Well, two people had to go. So sad. Okay. Um, if we don't have any more questions, then I think we covered like the 101, and this one we have checked, and just to do a recap, what we have talked today is the differences between a keyword versus a function, that in this case we're going to consider as if they were intentions. So we can read, and actually let's do this. Quiero entrar al VIP in Spanish. And it's asking me in Spanish for my name and my email. So Danny, I hope you're seeing this, because when we are talking about keywords, we're
Yeah.
limited by the things that we said. And when we're talking about intentions or functions, we are free. We are powerful.
I know this is so relieving. I mean, of course, yes, there will be people in different languages attending this event, so this comes really, really timely and handy.
Perfect. So again, we saw the difference between keywords versus the functions that we were going to consider as if they were intentions from the user. We saw that we have two that come with our account. This one is more for you to learn all you can do. This one is the system one that you can use or not. I usually recommend for you to learn from this one and create your own, because this can be a little bit oversensitive for some subjects that you might want to handle via bot. But this is the system one because we need to account for everything. So that's the one. And we created one. In this case, the one we created was to help Danny's case, that it was a VIP pass, and we made sure that the name and the description of what it does matches what the user intention will be. And we try to include some keywords or some hints for the AI to understand better. And we also made our restrictions that they only if they have provided the real name and email, and we told the AI where to save the user's name and where to save the user's real email. Okay, we also tested that whenever we add a text in here, it will use it as a template, but it will generate a proper response using AI, like everything that had happened before, and this output template message to craft a pretty good one that it's more robust and more friendly or more according to whatever we have prompted the AI before. If we don't want that and we want something more specific, or if we need some actions to be performed, then we can trigger a flow, and in that flow, that I don't know what I left, but in that flow, we can set actions, we can send emails, we can set to a spreadsheet, to a CRM, we can create a picture, we can do a lot of things. So this is an introduction of all the powers you can do. And in next class, what we're gonna take a look at is to have multiple of this working together. So your homework today is to create one, make it work, and then create a second one that should be working inside your bot, so you can have more questions for me on next class. Does that sound fun?
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
So
Thank you.
Wendy, thank you.
see
Thank
you
you so
next
much.
one.
Bye, guys.
Wendy, before we go, I have a little question regarding language
Yeah.
in the whole platform. So I speak Spanish and I'm going to target, Latino businesses.
Mhm.
And I was wondering if I have to program all my, my flows and my functions in English or in Spanish. It doesn't affect anything.
You're not bounded to do it in a specific language, so you can do it in the one that you prefer. So maybe just say, oh, I prefer to do English because I express myself in English better. Then you do it that way. But maybe just say, you know what, I rather do it in Spanish because my vocabulary in English is not that big, or because my users should be able to move around stuff and they speak Spanish. Then do it in Spanish. Don't worry. I have people that is doing this in German, some others in Russian, some in Chinese, some in Portuguese, and some people. I'm sorry that I don't know the language, but some people from Israel, they're even using that, and some people that use the Arabic languages, they're using those. So you're free to do the one you like better.
All right. Thank you, Wendy.
By the way, we have classes, we have lessons or live trainings like this one in Spanish, Thursdays, jueves, the same hour, the same time. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a little question, if you can. If not, let me know. Because I read this in some that now you in Google Sheet you can send directly to a Google Sheet data, but you have before to make something because now something has changed in Google Sheet.
Yeah, don't worry. I already actually did a video. If you look on, let me check in here, YouTube. In here, you should be able to see. Let me see videos. What it is. Okay, this one. This is in English. This one's in Spanish. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
those
Thank
are the instructions for that new one. Don't worry.
you.
Don't
Okay,
you worry.
thank you.
We wouldn't let you like be all along with this. We have those instructions. English with Asta, it's Spanish with me.
Fantastic. And just this session of today's session will be recorded or will be available because
Yes, it will be up. It will be up on YouTube, and we usually also add on the GTP store, so it's more organized. Because in here is like as soon as they get, you will like be switching around. But on the other one, we can do more like a library. Also, here in playlist, you should. Yeah, I don't know what is not visible, but it's a playlist. Let me see if I have.
in store. Okay.
Let me see if it shows on my. Yeah, yay. Okay, YouTube series. I have more stuff here because I need to admin, but here in the YouTube series, you have Febrero de Funciones.
Ah,
And
okay.
we need to do
Perfect.
one for this one, the function February, and it also is AI agency in Spanish. This one is also in English, and it was for Black Friday, so it has a lot of sessions like email list, comment tool, website. This one must be updated now because it's old now, but we have a lot of stuff here.
Thank you. You do a lot of work. Thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much, Wendy.
love you guys.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Hey, so Wendy, thank you so much. Before we go, I just wanted to ask, I renamed or I reworded the trigger or the function to make sure it would work, like it wouldn't collect their email twice.
Uh-huh.
Would this work? It says allows the user to schedule an appointment if you remember their email and phone. If you don't remember their email and phone, you must ask before they can schedule an appointment.
Yes, you can test with that one. I usually will go with something like if you have the email and if you don't remember having it, then you ask again.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I usually try the other way around. Like first like to get it, but then if you already have it, then don't. But you have to work the balance because everybody's brain is different, and the goal for this is for you to be as clear on your ideas, on your expression of ideas as possible. And it's not fair that I try to impose my way of thinking. So it's better for you to like develop your own.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much.